Another day on the job, a man, his men and their guns, holding off the enemy for 3 hot days in the desert sun. The decision he made, his men on the grave, was do or die for him that day. He stepped into the light of fire, and the hero he became. 'Cause on that day, he was a hero, a man of the flag, the likes of which are rarely found. He gave his life, so remember his story and bury him in hallowed ground.
Good evening, everybody, and thank you for tuning in to the Digital Forge Broadcast Network. Here this lovely Wednesday evening tonight is the All-Pro Racing League Michelangelo's Xfinity Series taking on the Milwaukee Mile here tonight. And I tell you what, it's going to be some great race action coming at you, as drivers have got about 4 minutes left of their practice time here tonight before they put down their 3 best laps to see where they will end up on the grid. Taking a look at the schedule here, this is race number 3 of the 9-race series coming into tonight. After last week, we did 100 laps at Richmond, and it was a great race there. We started this series a couple weeks ago at Kentucky. Next week, we will be at Phoenix and then Charlotte in a couple of weeks. Just want to give a special shout out tonight, folks. If you are enjoying the music that we've been having here on the Digital Forge Broadcast Network, just want to give a thanks to Madison Rising, as these guys are on their Defend Freedom Tour. You can check them out on the web. Just look up MadisonRising.com, or on Facebook, type in Madison Rising. These guys are the most patriotic band out there today. You definitely want to check them out for all the great music that they have. So we are going to move to the Star Spangled Banner that these guys put down each and every broadcast for us. Always appreciate the work that they do. So while the drivers are finishing up their qualifying time, we're going to move to the Star Spangled Banner, and we'll be back right after this.
Can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars
Are you ready? Are you ready? Showtime.
Another day on the job, a man, his man and their guns, holding off the enemy for 3 hot days in the desert sun. The decision he made, his men on the grave, was do or die for him that day. He stepped.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to the Digital Forge Broadcast Network. I'm Dustin Caldwell, and tonight the Michelangelo's Xfinity Series takes on the Milwaukee Mile. It's going to be a great race of 100 laps of Xfinity race action. That's the Camrys, the Mustangs, and the Camaros battling it out here tonight. Drivers are finishing up their qualifying time. Let's take a look at the results and see where they stand here tonight. Jason Moskow on the pole so far. Josh Downing, Don King, Teddy Wisniewski, and Michael Updegraff are your top 5. Jeff T. Martin, Wesley Whitfield, Doug Turner, Michael D'Amico, and Butch Frazier round out your top 10 here so far. Last week it was a great race in Richmond as some of the drivers there battled hard to be able to make it to the finish line. With some incidents there, but they did work it out and get there. And tonight this is the third race of the 9-race series here in Milwaukee. Looks like pretty much drivers have finished their qualifying times. So we'll be ready to go to the grid in just a few moments. Post the results up there for you. And as we're taking a look at the results, let's go ahead and take a look at the venue. We're going to move to that real quick here. You can see this is the Milwaukee Mile. It's a 1-mile track, 70 degrees on the track temperature. Taking a look at the weather information as it stands. There it is, 65 degrees in the air, 70 on the track, no humidity with some overcast. So that's great race weather that we have here this evening. Want to look at the results yet again. It looks like it will be pretty much set here in just a few moments. Once qualifying concludes, they get for 5 minutes or 3 of their best laps that they could put down here before they go to the grid. And right now it looks like a 28.284 is going to be the time to beat, as we are moving now from qualifying down to the grid as drivers are making their way out. We'll get you that gridding action where it stands. And there's your pole setter here tonight, ladies and gentlemen. The number 24 of Jason Moskow running that National Guard car. To his outside with his qualifying time tonight. Got him in second in that Sports Clips FedEx Camry. That's the number 11 of Josh Downing. Back in third position, folks, the royalty man himself, number 23, Don King, with a nice looking paint scheme on his car. To his outside, you've got that 77 of Teddy Wisniewski rocking a new Ford Mustang with a Valvoline paint scheme on that car. Looking back into the top 5 here tonight, Michael Updegraff there in that jet black. We're going to call it the Mad Max Camaro here tonight. To his outside, and that Georgia State Trooper going to be chasing him down here. That's the 14 of Jeff T. Martin. Looking back into 7th position, we got a nice looking paint scheme there on that car. That Mechanical Service Camaro. That's Wesley Whitfield. To his outside, the 41 Napa Know-How of Doug Turner. Good enough to get him an 8th here tonight. This guy's always a cameraman, but tonight he puts down the cameras and picks up a steering wheel. That's the All-Pro Racing, the number 62 of Michael D'Amico. To his outside, this guy, Royal Crown, steals my heart here tonight, folks. A triple nickel of Butch Frazier. Love me some Royal Crown Cola. Next, we have the 7 of Danny Rudy, ready to go racing there as there has to check up a little bit. We'll be starting in 11th and rounding out the field in 12th here tonight, folks. The 006, Verlis Falcons, who I just learned is a veteran, folks, and definitely want to give a shout out to our veterans here tonight as this gentleman is taking the field here in the 13th position. So it's going to be Moscow up front on the pole here. So they're making their way down the back straightaway. Go ahead and get it up to chopper cam for you and let you know this is the Michelangelo's Xfinity Series in the All-Pro Racing League here tonight. Appreciate you tuning into the Digital Forge broadcast here this Wednesday evening. Pace car will be set to go into the pits, and we're going to go 100 laps of Xfinity race action. Here they come down. Green flag flies, and we're off to the races here tonight. Side by side into turn 1 they go. Very narrow corners here in Milwaukee. As we see, the 11 of Josh Downing has to go up high, coming down the back straightaway towards turn number 3. Good side by side. Moscow to the inside is going to edge out the 11 of Josh Downing. Oh, and we got a driver that looks like he might have disconnected. Disappeared up into turn 3. Looks like the good racing lord took him off the track in time. Here comes the 77 of Teddy Wisniewski in that Valvoline car to the inside of Josh Downing. As they're heading out of turn number 2, will he take second position? Here he comes down the back straightaway. Side by side with Josh Downing they go. As we take a look at Moscow leading him around turns 3 and 4. Downing was able to get back into second position, coming down the first straightaway. Ready to click over into lap number 3. Moscow comes across the start-finish line, bringing the rest of them with him. Into turns 1 and 2 they go. You see the top 3 and 4 there. Don King in 4th. Good battle up front for the first 4. Let's go back to the 6th position. Updegraff. Take a look at his driver drop as he heads into turns 3 and 4 right there behind Jeff T. Martin. You can see he's 2.2 seconds off your race leader. Things have kind of settled out here. Drivers were having a tough time putting their strategies and setups together, wondering how the tire degradation was going to be here tonight. As he comes out of turn number 2 into the back straightaway, Jason Moscow, your leader, folks, led the first 3 laps so far and is now being challenged by Josh Downing heading into turn number 3. Downing got the low side. Will he have enough to be able to take the lead? Coming out of turn 4, down the front straightaway they come, side by side, but it looks like Moscow's going to be able to edge him out. Hopefully he can get down to that lower groove. Dives it down in towards turn number 1, but he's going to maintain the middle groove, and here comes Downing. Side by side they go out of turn number 2 into the back straightaway. It's a drag race, and it looks like Teddy Wisniewski's going to provide a little bit of help to the 11 of Josh Downing. These guys are battling hard up there for the lead, as we almost got 3 wide coming out of turn 4 down the front straightaway. And Josh Downing now will take the lead. Teddy Wisniewski, wow, does he dive it down into the first turn as you see some smoke come off those tires. Really putting some hammer on it. Another camera look coming down the back straightaway. 1, 2, 3 they come. Teddy Wisniewski, Josh Downing, and Jason Moscow and Don King. As we take a look as they make their way down the front straightaway, clicking over to lap number 7 here tonight. Top 5 as it stands: Teddy Wisniewski, Josh Downing, Jason Moskow, Don King, and Jeff T. Martin. Whoa, look at the smoke come off of the 77's tires. And it looks like the 7 of Danny Rudy is making his way back onto the track here, folks. Having some issues there on that car. Not exactly sure what's happening there. Is he just letting everybody go by? Didn't want to be any in the way a little bit here tonight. If you tuned in last night, this gentleman sponsors the Tuesday night series, the truck series that they have. It's a super speedway series going back and forth between Daytona and Talladega. Some great racing. It was almost a photos finish last night between Doug Lemons, Jason Anderson, coming really close. Mark Jackson was there as well. As we watch the 77 of Wisniewski now coming to turn number 1. Bringing it into the back straightaway. He's actually out there. Let's take a look at the driver drop. There's Moskow's behind him in second. Moskow now is about almost a second off the pace heading into turn 3 as this Valvoline car came to drive here tonight. Side by side, Downing is going to edge out the 23 of Don King. Let's take a look back at Jeff T. Martin, just making his way across the start-finish line. His driver drop in 5th position. It's about 4.6 seconds off your leader as he heads into turns 1 and 2. You see these front 4 guys that just pulled away from the rest of the group. Up to Graf there in the 96, right behind Jeff T. Martin. We saw a little bit from him earlier. Here comes the 41 of Doug Turner into turn number 3 in that Napa Know-How car. Right behind him, got a 3-car bunch right here. The triple nickel of Butch Frazier, the 71 of Wesley Whitfield right there as he's making his way across the start-finish line. And you see the 62 of Michael D'Amico in that all-pro car. Nice looking paint scheme on that car. Let's move back up, take a look at the lead as Teddy Wisniewski extends it. Heading into turn number 1, taking a look at just how he manages to get down as low as he does, staying on that preferred line. Looking once again at Moskow coming in the back straightaway. His driver drop is now out to over 1 second. Oh, Don King looks like he's going to have to go high into turn number 3. And oh! Downing gets a little bit loose. Some smoke coming out of the 11. And now he's side by side with the 23 of Don King as they head into turns 1 and 2. Josh Downing just a little bit loose. Credited with 1 lap led in this race. And Don King moves to the inside. Here they come down the straightaway. Well, Don King's set up for the pass position, and there he goes. Putting it in deep into turn number 1. Even goes down onto the yellow line a little bit. And he'll get by the 11 of Josh Downing. So you can see Don King started third. He's worked his way back up into a starting position now as he passes the 11 of Josh Downing. Wisniewski heading into turn number 1. Still your race leader here tonight. As we see, he started 4th on the grid and is up to 1st. Led the last 9 laps of this race. Coming up on lap traffic, that's the 006 of Verlis Falcons. Let's see what the leader does here and how he manages it. Takes him to the low side, trying to get a little bit of draft action off of the 006. And to turn 1 he goes. He's got the 7 of Danny Rudy up next. The only car that looks like he can contend with him is the 24 of Jason Moskow. So once again, when they're heading in the back straightaway, let's take a look at the driver drop. He's picked up 0.3 of a second on your race leader, as he's now just 0.7 off the 77 of Teddy Wisniewski. Into turn 1 he goes. Let's look back at third position. We had some good battling going on there, but it looks like Don King has been able to edge out and extend his lead over the 11 of Josh Downing for that third place position. Coming up on lap traffic here. Let's see what the 23 does. Beautiful etiquette there from the lap traffic to be able to allow the lead lap cars by. It's one thing you like to see in any type of race is good race etiquette from the other drivers, not in trying to impede the leaders or people on the lead lap. Down the back straightaway they come. Into turns 3 and 4 goes the leader, as he's going to be clicking over to lap number 19 here tonight. Go ahead and give me a shout out there in YouTube, folks. Who do you think is going to put down the victory? It looks like Teddy Wisniewski is your leader right now, looking pretty solid in that 77, but we got plenty of distance to cover in this race here tonight. It'll be 80 laps, 81 laps to go when he crosses the start-finish line this time around. Like to see your thoughts and your posts out there. Who do you think is going to come away with the victory at the Milwaukee Mile? Top 5 as it is, as we watch Teddy Wisniewski come around into the back straightaways. Moscow's in second, Don King third, Joshua Downing fourth, and Jeff Martin rounds out your top 5 here on this 20th lap out of this 100 lap race here tonight. A little bit of statistic information. We've had 2 lead changes in the first 20 laps here tonight, and it's been this guy so far. 77 of Teddy Wisniewski just running away with it. Now coming up on the 62 of Michael D'Amico. Goes down low. Back and forth coming into turns 3 and 4 is the 11 of Josh Downing here tonight. Making his way into the front straightaway. 1 lap lead for the 11 car. And we're seeing some shout outs for this guy right here out in YouTube, wanting him to come away with the victory. Anything can happen, folks. We know Teddy Wisniewski's out to a good lead now. We take a look up as he's heading into turns 1 and 2, catching the Napa Know-How car, the 41 of Doug Turner. Had a chance to talk with this young man earlier in the week. Said that he was going to put some extra practice time in this track as he didn't have much experience at it. And it looks like it is paying off for that Valvoline team, as he has now led the last 18 laps of this race. Here's a monumental moment for the 24 of Moscow, as Teddy Wisniewski's got to swim through all this lap traffic. Some going low, some going high, and he's got to weave through it, allowing Jason Moscow to catch up. Here they go into the front straightaway, passing all the lapped cars. And Moscow taking a look as he heads into turns 1 and 2. His driver drop now is 0.3 of a second off your race leader. Picked up some time into the back straightaway they go, and look at this. Climbing towards the bumper, he's going to go to the inside. Jason Moscow with a beautiful move to the inside to reclaim the lead here on lap number 25. What a move from the 24. And we got another lead change here tonight. Beautiful job from the 24 of Jason Moscow. Caught Teddy Wisniewski sleeping in turns 3 and 4 and just really stuck it low and was able to come out with the lead here. A little flip-flop up front. Let's take a look back in third position. Here comes the 23 of Don King. He's been in third ever since his battle with Josh Downing. Taking a look through the field. Maybe you've seen it was the 7 of Danny Rudy We're going to back it up just a little bit here and see if we can get your replay of what happened with this car. So you're going to see he's going to go spinning here tonight. Wow. Tough break there for the 7 of Danny Rudy. Sometimes you just get a little bit loose. And that's going to bring out our first caution flag here this evening.
Simulated racing can be awesome, but can also be kind of a free-for-all. Interestingly, auto racing faced the same problem in its earlier days. Whether it was on the back roads, the beaches, or the city streets, the racing was fun, but there was always a certain level of chaos and danger, until some folks came along and put some order to all of this. Stuff like official racetracks, regulations about weight and equipment, and enforcement of standards. That's what gave us high-speed excitement, fast-paced action, and photo finishes. That's when racing became racing. The guys over at iRacing.com have made the same transformation in the world of sim racing. Sure, they've got the most accurate tracks and realistic cars out there, but that's just the start. See, iRacing analyzes the performance and results of each driver in every race, so you can be sure you're always placed in races where the competition will be tight, and that those reckless drivers who ruin it for us all are kept in the pits. Not to mention that with over 45,000 active members already in their vast community, you can find races day and night, so you can always get in on the action. You can even join a league of your favorite series. And since updates are always automatic, you don't have to worry about software and can focus on the track. Zip up your fire suit and check out iRacing.com.
Another day on the job, a man, his man, and their guns.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, as we're about ready to go back green on lap number 31. Jason Moscow, shown as the race leader, elects the outside as the 77 of Teddy Wisniewski takes the inside. Here we go. Pace car set to go into the pits this time around. There it goes. A little bit of checkup action. Here we are, back to the races. Lap number 31 as Wisniewski shoots out with 11 of Josh Downing down low. Moscow must have been asleep up top. Didn't catch the pace. Butch Frazier in the 555 goes high. Side by side with the 41 of Doug Turner. We started with 14 cars on the field tonight, and 7 of them are on the lead lap now as Jeff T. Martin back there in 7th position. Heading into the pits, it looks like he's having some issues there. Not exactly sure what happened with the Georgia State Trooper number 14 car of Jeff Martin. But here comes your leader. Teddy Wisniewski down the back straightaway towards turn number 3, once again extending his lead. As you see here, he's been credited with 22 laps led in the race. Making his way down the front straightaway. 33 laps. It'll be lap number 33 this time around. And got a request for some statistics here in the race. Let's take a look at it. 5 lead changes here tonight. We've had 1 caution for 3 laps of pacing. Top 5 as it stands. Teddy Wisniewski, Josh Downing.
All right, man, caution is out.
And Josh Downing looked like, as we was mentioning his name, had some issues. Wow. Let's run back to replay there. Let's see if we can get exactly what happened with Josh Downing. Let's bring it down a little bit closer. And he's just going to lose it. Right there on the front stretch goes Josh Downing to bring out our second caution here tonight. Oh, a little ARCA brake action there. A little bit of caution music for you there this evening, folks. We're going to see if we can get the leader on the line here for you. This is going to be about to go back green, lap number 39. Teddy Wisniewski, this is Dustin Caldwell in the booth. Are you there?
Yeah, how are you, man?
Doing pretty good, and it looks like you have got the setup to beat this evening, as this Valvoline car looks really good here at the Milwaukee Mile. Tell us a little bit about your strategy. Seeing you got into the pits, got some tires changed. How's the tire degradation looking tonight?
Really, it's only the right front that's giving me any issue, but really that's my fault. I'm kind of running a conservative line, other than everyone else is taking a wide arc. You know, the 24 really is the only one that's giving me anything to worry about at the moment, so, you know, we'll see. I feel tires are important, but so is track position and passing. And those lap cars, I don't know if you saw it, but they cost me the lead earlier, so I'm willing to stay out.
Yeah, you did have to swim through them just a little bit, but we're going to go ahead and let you go as you're getting ready to go back green. Best of luck to you in the remainder of the race. Thanks so much for your time, bud.
Yep, thank you.
There you have it, folks. A little bit of words from the strategy of the 77 of Teddy Wisniewski, as he now has Don King, the 23 outside, the 24 of Jason Moskow to the inside. Now the 96 of Michael Updegraff makes it into the front 4. Butch Frazier in the top 5. Here we go. Green flag in the air. And we're back to the races. Lap number 39. And look at Don King make the move over, and Josh Downing again.
All right, man. Caution is out. Caution is out.
Wow. Josh Downing yet again, folks. So we see him making his way out. Let's go back and see if we can get exactly what happened this time around. As during the replay, you're going to see Josh Downing come down here. Just get into the back of Butch Frazier. Tough break for this guy here tonight. 2 cautions in a row. And that's going to bring out our third caution of the evening here tonight. You are watching the Michelangelo's Xfinity series here on the Digital Forge Broadcast Network.
Got the throttle wide open, feel my pace. Got 100 horses between my legs. No destination.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Milwaukee Mile here this evening. I'm Dustin Caldwell for the Digital Forge Broadcast Network.
Another day on the job.
It's Michelangelo's Painting Xfinity series taking on this track here tonight. And we're about to go back green. Be lap number 44 here this evening. As you see the drivers getting ready to go into turn number 3. Quick look at your top 5, folks. Teddy Wisniewski, Jason Moskow, Michael Updegraff, Doug Turner, and Don King are your top 5. As we move up to the chopper cam, ready to go green. And this is a good battle up front between the 24 of Moskow and the 77 of Wisniewski. These guys have had the best setups all night. Green flag flies. We're back to the races. Here they go down the front straightaway towards turn number 1. Wisniewski diving it down into that turn. Look how close he gets to that yellow line as he's trying to get out now. Oh, we got some contact.
Caution is out. Caution
Doug
is out.
Turner Escaping that, Jeff T. Martin was involved as well. He's coming out. Let's go back and take a look at this one and see what happened. Everybody's nerves are getting riled up now as we bring back the replay cam here. As we take a look, there's some contact there from these guys. And it's going to be Doug Turner. Oh, the inverse effect. This is what I like to call the inverse effect. The 41 into the 14, folks. And Josh Downing, poor Josh Downing, yet again, is going to be spun out in the caution here tonight. Tough break for these drivers, as we have another caution flag in the air.
Two wheels in the open road. I got the throttle wide open. Beat on my brakes. Got 100 horses between my legs.
Again, folks, this band, Madison Rising, check them out on the web, madisonrising.com. These guys are on the Defend Freedom Tour. Definitely want to check them out on Facebook as well. Let's see if we can get an interview with Josh Downing here tonight. As he's had some issues there with that 11 car. Let's go ahead and get him on the line. Looking for that 11, Sport Clips. Josh Downing, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Well, my friend, I tell you what, tonight doesn't look to be your night. Involved in a few of the cautions, and I tell you what, unfortunately, you know, it seems like you become a caution magnet ever since the first one you were involved in.
Yeah, it's frustrating for sure. I'm ready for this race to be over, and let's move on to the next one.
What was your strategy coming in this evening and looking at through practice?
I wasn't the fastest. I didn't think I had a top car, but a top 5 was very reasonable, and just kind of let it get away from me early.
Yeah, and as we've seen, that last caution with Jeff T. Martin getting into Doug Turner, just trying to avoid it, spun out there. How's your tires looking now? We seen any more degradation to them, or cook them a little bit in that spin?
Nah, we'll be all right. It's no big deal. Let's hope we get some more yellows fall our way. Try to get a couple laps back.
All right.
Salvage.
Well, appreciate the time there, Josh. Thank you much for your time, and best of luck to you on the remainder of the race here tonight.
Yep, thank you.
There you have it, folks. The 11 Sport Clips of Josh Downing taking a look. That West USA driver started second. He's currently sitting in 11th due to a couple of cautions he was involved in. So far, folks, it is the 77 of Teddy Wisniewski. Been the man to beat ever since he took the lead about 35 laps ago. As you see, 37 laps have led for the 77 Valvoline car of Teddy Wisniewski. The 24 of Josh Moskow to his outside will be the guy that you want to watch for, as he's been the one that's been able to contest them here tonight for speed. As we look, they're making their way into turn number 3. We're going to go back green on lap number 49. Little statistics for the folks out there in YouTube. 6 lead changes in the first 47 laps. 4 cautions for 15 laps of pacing here tonight. Here comes the 24 of Moscow, ready to get on the 77's pace. Caught him sleeping, and look at him go! There goes Josh Moscow on the restart. What a move! Here we go towards turn number 1. Is he going to come down in front of the 77? Yes, he does. Oh, and we got some restart issues. As you see, the 96 of Michael Updegraff spinning out, not bringing out a caution here tonight. Wow. And here comes Teddy Wisniewski, not ready to give up that lead so fast. Coming down the front straightaway towards the start-finish line. Good battle up front. Will the Valvoline get back around the 24 National Guard car of Jason Moscow? Into the back straightaway they go. As you see, coming into turn number 3, the 24 is pulling away from the 77 just a little bit. And now Teddy Wisniewski setting him up for the pass. Here he comes down the start finish line into lap number 51. Not going to have the momentum, though, to be able to get around him as these guys head into turns 1 and 2. Don King back there in third position, chasing him down. Been stuck in that third position since the grid. Although he did fall back and forth just a little bit, was able to get back into third, and it's just been a holding point for him here tonight. Good enough for third, but just not enough so far to be on the leaders. As we see, they're making their way out of turn number 2. Into the back straightaway they go. Wisniewski, let's take a look at his driver's drop. 0.2 of a second off of the 24 of Jason Moscow as they head into turns 3 and 4. Let's take a look back in 5th position. Doug Turner, involved in the last caution, is able to stay on the lead lap. Jeff T. Martin there with Wesley Whitfield. Jeff T. Martin, that Georgia State Trooper car, is going to go around. Coming down the back straightaway, he here tonight started 6th on the grid and is currently sitting in 9th, involved in a couple of cautions. The other counterpart to the last caution, as these two guys, Doug Turner in the 41 Napa car and the 14 of Jeff T. Martin, collided out of turn number 2 and brought out our last caution. Back up front, we take a look at the leaders, making their way into turns 3 and 4. Jason Moscow looking pretty dominant in that 24 National Guard car. Here they go out of turn number 2, taking a look from our up-high camera. You can just see the gap now that the 24 has on the 77 of Teddy Wisniewski. 46 laps to go to be 45 this time around as they're making their way out of turn number 4 into the front straightaway they come. Moscow hits the start-finish line. 45 laps to go in the race here tonight. Moscow now credited with 16 laps led of this race. Wisniewski has 37 right there behind him. Butch Frazier. So we watch Butch Frazier, folks, coming out into the back straightaway. Started 10th. He's up to 4th here this evening. His fastest lap here tonight, 29.536. Last lap was 30.938. He's battling it out right there, coming down the front straightaway, right behind Wesley Whitfield in that 71 car. Michael D'Amico back there in 6th position. Started 9th. Just been involved in one caution. It's been tough breaks here tonight. He wasn't too sure about his setup, if he was going to have a fast enough setup to challenge the leaders. But right now, moving up 3 positions from where he started, he's got to be happy with how this car's handling. Moscow and Wisniewski making our way out of turn number 4 in the front straightaway. Here they come. It'll be 42 laps to go this time around. Don King still about 2 seconds off the pace of your leader. Your lucky dog is Jeff T. Martin at this point, folks, as he's making his way out of turn number 2. Let's go ahead and go up to the blimp and just show you how these cars have spaced out since we've gone back green. Starting with your leader here. 41 laps to go in the race tonight. There's your leader. Let's go back to Don King. You can just see the spacing from there to Butch Frazier. So Don King's in turn 2. Here comes Butch Frazier just now crossing the start-finish line. That's 4th position right there, folks. Just shows you the spacing here tonight. Look at Doug Turner there, right behind Butch Frazier. Michael D'Amico just making his way into turns 1 and 2. Up to Graf, who was up towards the top 5 earlier, spun out in turn 2 and has fallen back to 7th position. Bearless Falcons here, the 006, making his way towards turn number 3 is the last car on the lead lap. We see Wesley Whitfield and Jeff T. Martin coming out of turn 2. Wesley Whitfield into turn 2. And Josh Downing now, even though he's a couple laps down, is ahead of Jeff T. Martin. So our leaders are making their way towards the back straightaway. They come. Jason Moscow, 22 laps led in this race. Turns 3 and 4. It'll be 38 laps to go when he crosses the start-finish line. This is one of the tough things of trying to dial in a car. You spend all week working on it and just get to the track and have poor performance. Things go wrong. Cautions come out as we take a look. Had 4 cautions here tonight. And this gentleman right here that we're looking at now, the 11 of Josh Downing, involved in 3 of them. Not the cause of them, per se. I mean, he drawled out the flag, but just having a loose car for 2 of them, and tough break there for that guy. Definitely one of the faster cars that you'd see out there typically. But tonight, it's just been dire straits for the 11 of Josh Downing. Moscow now into turns 1 and 2 he goes. We see some smoke. Does it look like it was from the 62 of Michael D'Amico? As D'Amico gives him a wide berth, a very wide berth. Up close to that wall, says, I don't want to get involved with these leaders. Lets them by, and here they come. What a battle it is for the lead here. 2 cars. Just definitely have the fastest setups here this evening. Some smoke from the 96 of Updegraff there out of turn 2. And now, wow. Moscow, what a move, has extended his lap, or excuse me, extended his lead over the 77 of Teddy Wisniewski. He's catching up to the 96 of Updegraff, and Wisniewski heading into the pits. Here comes some strategy there from Teddy Wisniewski. Trying to get out ahead. 33 laps to go for the 77. Here he comes to the pit box. Oh, and he looks like he possibly overshot it. No, he didn't. Interesting to see these cross the yellow line. Didn't even barely made it. Interesting to see how that played out there, but Teddy Wisniewski doing a 4-tire swap, getting some fuel. Making his way back out on the track. Oh! Getting those tires warmed in as he comes off the pit lane into the track. There is your leader, Jason Moscow, just slightly ahead of him. Will have to make a pit stop before it's all said and done. Wisniewski already jumping out ahead. As we see the 24 of Moscow moving around the 555 of Butch Frazier. Wisniewski's back there. A few cars behind Moscow, but he's a lap down at this point. Here they come down the straightaway. Just trying to pull up some statistics here for you folks. I do apologize. It's taking a little bit longer than what I was thinking. My software is not working for me too well, but take a look at Moscow clicking over 29 laps to go in the race here tonight as he's passing the 41 of Doug Turner there in the Napa car. And as you can see, Teddy Wisniewski is back in third position at 1 lap down, as the only two guys that haven't made a pit stop are the leader and Doug Turner. Wisniewski passing him. Oh, Verlis Falcons had some issues there on his car. Taking a look, got some smoke coming on that car. Into his pit box, look at the damage on his car, wow. Tough break there for Verlis Falcons, as it looks like they're going to do some repair work on his car. Jason Moscow yet to pit. You see him making his way into turn 1 and 2, and look who's behind him, 1 lap down. Number 77 of Teddy Wisniewski in second position. It's got to be kind of interesting to see the guy that you've been battling all night already have a pit stop, and he's already back on your tail knowing that you've got a pit. I think the 24 won't let him by. 26 laps to go. And set the Valvoline car of Teddy Wisniewski has the fresher tires. And he's making the pass here, coming down the back straightaway. Teddy Wisniewski is going to pass the leader to get back on the lead lap, and this may be the sign for Moscow that he needs to make a pit stop. Let's see if the 24 does, or is he going to stay out? He elects to stay out here. 25 laps to go in the race here tonight. This young man in the National Guard car here. 36 laps led for Jason Moscow. As the 77 of Teddy Wisniewski's waiting, chomping at the bit for this 24 car to go into the pits, as he's going to make his way back up. Let's see. Looks like he's slowing up a little bit. Will it be? No, he's going to stay out every lap. Although this is a good strategy possibly for Jason Moscow, as Teddy Wisniewski has a long way to go to be able to contest him for the lead. The question is, will he have enough fuel? As we see now, Teddy Wisniewski is just pulling away from him, as I believe Moscow might be going into the pits as he's looking really low. And yet another lap he's going to stay out. So this is interesting to see how this will play out, as he might be going into fuel save mode. But if he does that, he's allowing Teddy Wisniewski to get further down the track and closer to being around through the field. And Moscow, 22 laps to go this time around. Don King making his way out of turn number 4 is shown in third position at 1 lap down. And things are a little bit messed up as far as the race order is concerned, because our leader has not pitted. I don't know, out there in YouTube, for any drivers that are watching here tonight, give me your thoughts here on Jason Moscow, our race leader. When would you make the pit? If you're in this situation, 21 laps to go, you know that the guy to beat is the 77 of Teddy Wisniewski, who's just up a little bit ahead of you, about 3 or 4 seconds ahead of you. Do you make the pit stop, or do you try to run it as far as you can before you pit? Let's see that strategy there for 24, Jason Moscow. Oh, and there we go. He's making the pit stop now. Moscow finally gets the call. He's going down pit road. It'll be 20 laps to go when he crosses the start-finish line. And it's got to be quick for him, as Wisniewski is going to be coming around the track. All the cars that were a lap down are now getting back on the lead lap, and here we go. There's 2 tires on, 2 tires off. Jeff T. Martin passing on the track. Watching for that 77, folks. Here he comes. There goes Teddy Wisniewski. And taking the lead, and Moscow got a lot of digging to do yet in the race with 20 laps to go. Here he comes off of pit road. Here's your race leader as Moscow's coming into turn 3. Wisniewski's making his way out of turn number 4. Moscow, looking at his driver drop out of pits, is 4.5, close to 5 seconds off your race leader. Ooh, and that's going to be tough, folks. 19 laps to go, and knowing that Teddy has older tires, will Jason Moscow be able to do it? All right, we're going to watch this and see how it plays out, but there's your leader, folks, Teddy Wisniewski. 39 laps led for that young man in that 77 Valvoline car. No one really up there to contest him, as Moscow in the 24. Looking at his driver drop, folks, he was at 4, almost 5 seconds, and you can see he's closing the gap. He picked up about 0.7 of a second off of Teddy Wisniewski. We got 17 to go here tonight. Verlis Falcons making his way back out onto the track after he had some damage. Just trying to accumulate some points there. No quit for the 006 here tonight, folks. So he's heading into turns 3. Started 13th, but he could finish 11th. Still a victory there for that gentleman. Back up to your leader now with 16 to go in the race. There he goes into turn 3, folks, and here comes Moscow. Moscow's hungry. Look at that. Driver drop yet again. 0.6 of a second. Boy, is he gaining some time. We got plenty of time to do it. Will he have enough? Moscow, this is going to be the guy to keep an eye on to be able to challenge Teddy Wisniewski for the win here tonight. Don King in 3rd position coming out of turn 2. Jeff T. Martin being passed by the 96 of Michael Updegraff. But Michael Updegraff in the lucky dog spot back there in 4th position. It's been tough for these guys. Looks like a spin out from the 71. Wesley Whitfield. See if we can show you a replay on that. As he spun out there. Tough break when your tires get loose. You can just see a little bit of spin out. Goes Wesley Whitfield. Taking a look back up at your race leader. There's Teddy Wisniewski coming in turns 3 and 4. Making his way into the front straightaway now. Jason Moscow now coming out of turn number 4. Let's take a look at his driver drop yet again. Wow, look at that. He's picking up some more pace. You can feel the tension start to pull, folks. Jason Moscow rallying behind that 24 machine. Wanting to get up there to challenge Teddy Wisniewski after a late pit stop. He's got the fresher set of tires, more fuel. Will he have what it takes? So we got 12 laps to go, folks. You are watching the Michelangelo's Xfinity Series in the All-Pro Racing League here on the Digital Forge Broadcast Network. We're going to take a short commercial break. When we come back, let's see how this finishes out here tonight. We'll be right back. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, as we are looking closer and closer to the completion of this race here this evening. Jason Moscow, the man you're looking at making his way around the track, is going to be the one to possibly catch Teddy Wisniewski. As we take a look at his driver drop, is now 2.1 seconds off your race leader. Jason Moscow here tonight, hungry for that victory. Not going quietly. There's your race leader up in front. A little bit of lap traffic could help out the 24 as Teddy Wisniewski in the 77 makes his way into turn number 1. Ever so diving it deep close to that yellow line. And here comes Moscow making his way through. Wow, does the 77 of Wisniewski have to go through lap traffic? Into the front straightaway goes Wisniewski. Still back there behind him. Moscow getting past the 555 of Butch Frazier. Oh, they collide! They collide into turn number 1! Oh my gosh! That's going to be curtains for their 24, folks. Let's bring back the replay here tonight. Wow. We're going to watch this come out of... Bringing another look at it for you. And right there, collision between Moscow, the man that could have possibly put some pressure on the 77 of Teddy Wisniewski, is going to be taken out of the race here with 5 to go. And it's wheels up for the 24. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it just got a little bit interesting here with a few laps remaining in the race here tonight as we are watching them pace around. This is the Michelangelo's Xfinity Series with the All-Pro Racing League. Teddy Wisniewski is going to be the man to beat. Don King's right up there with him. Up the graph in the 96 is up in the third position. Let's take a look at the top five here. You can see Jeff Martin and Josh Downing, although he's a couple laps down, will be in your top five. And folks, tough break there for the 24 of Jason Moskow. Now 2 laps down, the guy that had the car. But we'll see if Don King has what it takes to be able to battle out the 77. As they're heading into turn number 3, folks. 2 laps to go. It'll be white flag this time. Green, white, checkered for you. Who's it going to be? Teddy Wisniewski, Don King, Josh Downing, Doug Turner up front. Green flag flies. Here comes Wisniewski. The white flag is in the air. Don King right there with him. Is he going to be able to contest the 77 as he falls in behind? Here we go, out of turn number 2. 2 turns left for the 77 of Teddy Wisniewski. Into turns 3 and 4. Don King may not have enough. It doesn't look like it at this point. Here we go, out of turn number 4. Down the front, straight away they come. Teddy Wisniewski is going to be your victor here tonight. Hard-fought battle for that 77 Valvoline car. And he walks away with the victory. Don King in second. We'll show you a little bit of the results here. Don King in second. Michael Updegraff in third. Jeff Martin and Josh Downing rounding out your top 5. Jason Moskow will fall to 6th position. Michael D'Amico 7th. Butch Frazier 8th. Wesley Whitfield 9th. Doug Turner rounds out your top 10. So we are going to move to a short commercial break, folks. When we come back, we'll have some driver interviews for you, so don't go anywhere. You definitely want to hear what these guys have got to say about tonight. We'll be right back.
Another day on the job, a man, his man, and their gun.
Simulated racing can be awesome, but it can also be kind of a free-for-all. Interestingly, auto racing faced the same problem in its earlier days. Whether it was on the back roads, the beaches, or the city streets, the racing was fun. But there was always a certain level of chaos and danger, until some folks came along and put some order to all of this. Stuff like official racetracks, regulations about weight and equipment, and enforcement of standards. That's what gave us high-speed excitement, fast-paced action, and photo finishes. That's when racing became racing. The guys over at iRacing.com have made the same transformation in the world of sim racing. Sure, they've got the most accurate tracks and realistic cars out there, but that's just the start. See, iRacing analyzes the performance and results of each driver in every race, so you can be sure you're always placed in races where the competition will be tight, and that those reckless drivers who ruin it for us all are kept in the pits. Not to mention that with over 45,000 active members already in their vast community, you can find races day and night, so you can always get in on the action. You can even join a league of your favorite series. And since updates are always automatic, you don't have to worry about software and can focus on the track. Zip up your fire suit and check out iRacing.com.
Another day on the job, a man, his man, and their guns. Holding off the enemy for 3 hot days in the desert.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the conclusion ceremonies of tonight's race, the Michelangelo's Xfinity Series. Race number 3 here at the Milwaukee Mile. And what a finish it was, as Teddy Wisniewski was able to take the victory. But before we go to our top three, definitely got to pull this young man in here and get his opinions on the last few laps, as it was looking hopeful, gaining ever so closely to the 77 of Teddy Wisniewski. Jason, that 24 National Guard car had a bad luck at the wrong time heading into turn number 1. Tell us a little bit about that and then a little bit about the race for you here tonight. Doesn't look like we're going to be able to get him on the line. Might be some technical difficulties there with the 24. Definitely was trying to get some interesting information out of him, as, you know, his tough break. So we will go ahead and move down to your third place finish here, Michael Updegraff this evening. The guy who started fifth is going to be able to finish up on the podium here tonight. And I tell you what, Michael, you got to be pretty happy coming into tonight's race. Tell us a little bit about your strategy and how it looked through practice and panning out to your third place finish here this evening. And not able to get him on the line either. Well, we'll have to go to Don King. See if we can get Don King on the line here and get his perspective this evening. Don King, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Well, you started third. You're able to finish second here tonight, as you saw the 24 of Jason Moskow get in a little bit of an incident, propelling you up into second position. Tell us a little bit about your strategy coming into tonight's race and how it panned out for you to be able to finish second here at Milwaukee.
Well, I just tried to keep the car as clean as I could. Didn't work out too good for me there at the beginning. Got in the wall, but got in and got her fixed, and car was running great. I got to thank Teddy for that. He helped me with a great setup, and car just ran great all night, and got a little over halfway to go. I realized I was going to get a solid third place. I always shoot for the top 5, so I figured that was pretty good. I was happy to run third, and then unfortunately them fellas got into an incident there. It was real unfortunate because I believe that guy was running Teddy down. Would have been a great race for the end there, but that's the way it goes sometimes.
Yeah, a tough break for Jason Moskow. Wanted to get some words from him, but not able to do so here tonight. Any shout-outs you want to give for your finish?
Absolutely. I'd like to thank John Hedrick at Over the Top Paints to give me this great car here. I'd also like to give a shout-out for CF Awareness. Please hit their website. A lot of ways people can help people out there. And All Pro Racing, Michelangelo's Painting, and, of course, you up there in the booth. Appreciate everything all you guys do. And Dan's top-notch also. He helps out a lot around here. Great sponsors around here. We got a good deal going.
Well, next week, as you see tonight, we go pick it up a little bit more and go to a trickier track. We're going to be at Phoenix next week. Is that a track you're pretty good at? Tell us a little bit about that.
Absolutely. That's one of my favorite tracks. I'm looking for a good finish there again. Hopefully get a little higher in the points here. I think I'm going to have a good points run this series.
All right. Well, congratulations again, finishing second. You moved up one position from where you started. You got to be proud of that. As always, it's your goal to finish in the top 5, but you finished second here tonight, so we look forward to seeing you next week at Phoenix, Don.
Thank you, sir.
There's your interview there with the 23 of Don King here tonight. Let's move to your race winner. This guy had a chance to talk to him, gave us a little bit of his strategy here for the 77 Valvoline car. And Teddy, did you happen to see the 24 of Moskow get into an incident there as he was running you down?
I didn't see it. I heard it about it. I was mad about it for him and the sake of for the fans watching. I said in the middle of the race when we had all those cautions, I was like, come on guys, really, we had a great first run, which is kind of rare for us. We usually have one or two quick ones and then we get that long run. And we had one right off the bat, so I was like, it's obviously capable that we can run clean around this place. So it was kind of frustrating then. And, I still was confident I could win the race, although he was coming really fast. I just, it's not right for the people watching at home to see the race end that way.
Yeah, definitely. It was a heartbreak event when we saw them get into the incident there in turn number 1. Did you feel the pressure, though? I know you made a pit stop a little bit earlier, and noticing when you finally caught up to him and he was staying out there with about 25 to go, and I didn't think he got in until about 19 to go, and as you were pulling away from him a little bit, tell us a little bit about what was your strategy then, as you knew that he was going to make it into the pits probably about 10, 15 laps from the last time that you got into the pit stop and was going to have those fresher tires. And we seen it. He was gaining on you. So, I mean, was the pressure on at that point for you?
Pressure a little bit, enough to know that if I make a mistake, he'll be there. But really, I was confident in my strategy and what I called, because I've done it at numerous tracks and I've had success with it. So, a little bit of pressure. But, he ran a great race. I had problems with the lap cars earlier, and I told him, I was like, it's a shame, going to catch the leader, to get caught up in something with the lap car. I didn't see it. I still haven't seen it. But I just know it's unfortunate. But I'm glad to have won that race. It's good for the points.
Yeah, and good points as well. Next week we're heading into Phoenix. Tell us a little bit about what your experience is there on that track and what we can expect from the 707 car.
Well, I personally like Phoenix. It's tricky, but it's not. It's more tricky to be consistent than to be fast. You could be fast there, but on a consistent basis, that's when you'll see the real fast guys. Is if we get like a 30-40 lap run, you'll see who the true fast guys are, because you're gonna have to be able to pass. Like tonight, it was trouble to pass. It's gonna be the same next week. Really trouble to pass.
Yeah, and a lot of passing did take place here tonight, but for that Ford Mustang, you were able to bring it to victory lane for the Valvoline team. Is there any shout-outs you want to give for your finish here tonight?
I want to thank you guys. It's fun for us to go watch ourselves. Again, it's always a great learning tool for us to see our mistakes, and know if you mistakenly called someone out. And then I want to thank Valvoline and Traxxas for their $0 of sponsorship, of course.
As always, being able to run such great sponsors there, doing it as a volunteer, you could say. Well, Teddy, congratulations to your victory here tonight. We look forward to seeing what you bring into Phoenix next week, as I know a lot of guys there have gotten some experience and are going to be putting up some great battles there at that track.
Yeah, thank you.
There you have it, folks. That is your winner here tonight. Teddy Wisniewski will be taking victory here at the Milwaukee Mile. So let's go ahead and show you the results one more time. And there it is. Teddy Wisniewski, Donald King, Michael Updegraff, Jeff T. Martin, Josh Downing. Amazingly, give some credit to Josh Downing in that number 11 car, as he was able, through 3 cautions, make his way up into the top 5. So you got to be happy with that, especially when you had that much adversity to overcome here this evening. Jason Moscow, the guy that could have put the hurt on Teddy Wisniewski towards the end, late race caution, will finish 6th here tonight. Michael D'Amico, the 62, will finish 7th. Butch Frazier, Wesley Whitfield, Doug Turner round out your top 10. Extending on into the top 14, there's Verlis Falcons, Danny Rudy, Ed Hewitt, Lonnie Brooks. Both had some issues with their cars, not actually fielding the grid here tonight. So we hope they get their engine problems worked out next week at Phoenix, and I hope to see them race there. Final summary of the night. Out of the 100 laps, we've had 7 lead changes, 5 cautions for 19 laps of pacing here this evening. A lot of nerves on the track here tonight, as it is a points race. But that will do it for us here tonight, folks. We do thank you for tuning in to the Digital Forge Broadcast Network, catching the Michelangelo's Xfinity Series here this Wednesday night for the All-Pro Racing League. We'll be back next Wednesday to cover the Phoenix race. You definitely want to hit subscribe on the YouTube channel so you can stay in the know as to when we go live. We'll be back tomorrow night for the iCar Series, race number 2. You definitely want to catch that. That's some great racing. Some Cup Series cars going on in that league. So So you definitely want to just keep in that. And Friday night, we will be taking a break as I will be going to see the band Madison Rising. Definitely want to give them a shout out again. As Madison Rising, check them out on Facebook and on the web at madisonrising.com. Doing the great music that you've heard here tonight. Let's take one final look at the schedule before we sign out. There it is, Phoenix, Charlotte, Iowa. Next 3 races coming up in this series. That will do us for us here tonight, folks. Thank you again for tuning in to the Digital Forge Broadcast Network. I'm Dustin Caldwell. Until next time, stay safe, and we'll see you.